Hello and welcome to New Central TV. My name is Mazino Bill. Now, here are stories making headlines beyond the continent. We begin the news with Workers' Day unrest as several hundred United Nations employees rallied in Geneva to protest against budget cuts and mass layoffs affecting multiple UN agencies. The demonstration led by the International Labour Organization comes amid mounting concerns over financial shortfalls, partly linked to the United States' withdrawal support from several international bodies. Séverine Debos, president of the ILO, during the protest said there is a questioning by the United States of their contribution. Staff members carried signs and chanted outside UN offices, warning that continued cuts threaten the stability and effectiveness of vital global programs. Organizers say the layoffs reflect deeper structural funding issues, calling on member states to recommit to their financial responsibilities.
L'OMS, où il est maintenant bien sûr clair que les États-Unis ont décidé de se retirer, l'UNESCO, les droits de l'homme et maintenant aussi dernièrement les réfugiés, le HCR, où effectivement il y a une remise en cause des États-Unis sur leur contribution aux opérations humanitaires de ces organisations.
Now let's also tell you that in the southern French city of Narbonne, several thousand demonstrators took to the streets on May Day, celebrating International Labour Day while also protesting a meeting held by the far-right National Rally Party later that evening. Marchers voiced strong opposition to the party's presence, with many saying its ideals have no place in their community. They're not welcome. We don't want this movement anymore. We don't want these people anymore, said Laetitia Sills, a fundraiser for NGOs. Labor unions and civil society groups joined forces in the march, blending traditional workers' rights demands and a clear political message against the far right.
On est venu parce qu'il y avait le meeting de Marine aujourd'hui et on est venu leur dire qu'on ne les veut pas, ils sont indésirables, on ne veut plus de ce mouvement, on ne veut plus de ces gens, on ne veut plus de ces profiteurs. Voilà ce qu'on veut, c'est la solidarité, c'est nous tous, c'est toutes les couleurs, c'est tous les sexes, toutes les personnes, voilà. On ne les veut pas en fait. C'est ça qu'on est venu leur dire aujourd'hui.
Alors, j'ai l'habitude de faire le 1er mai, oui. D'habitude, je le fais à Montpellier, qui est la ville où je suis. Mais là, aujourd'hui, c'était très très important d'être tous réunis à Narbonne, parce qu'il y a Bardella et leur Front National qui se rassemblent et nous, on veut leur dire qu'on n'est absolument pas d'accord avec cette politique qu'ils proposent.
Alors c'est important d'être présent à Narbonne aujourd'hui parce qu'en ce 1er mai, on voit bien que le Rassemblement national essaye de faire de cette ville un symbole de ses progrès électoraux, de son implantation, de sa normalisation. Et donc il est normal, évidemment, de venir dénoncer ces formes de supercherie.
Meanwhile, police arrested nearly 400 people in Istanbul on Thursday, with parts of Turkey's biggest city paralyzed in a bid to prevent May Day demonstrations. More than 50,000 officers were deployed in a massive show-off force in the metropolis a day after authorities shut metro, bus and ferry services. This year's May Day comes as the government is embroiled in a showdown with the main opposition Republican People's Party, the CHP, following the detention of its presidential candidate, Ekrem İmamoğlu.
İktidarın kolluk kuvvetleri tarafından alanlara alınmadık. Parça parça sokaklardan gözaltına alındık işkenceyle. Yani ilk defa karşılaştığımız bir durum değil. Son da olmayacak muhtemelen. Biz 1 Mayıs alanının Taksim olduğunu vurgulamaya devam edeceğiz. Bütün sokakları kapatmışlar. Resmen OHAL ilan etmişler. Yani bütün sokaklar, Şişli, Mecidiyeköy'e çıkan bütün sokakları kapatmışlar. Yani bu aslında iktidarın korkusunu gösteriyor. Yani gençlikten korkuyor, işçilerden, emekçilerden korkuyor.
In the Middle East, tensions flared in Indonesia's capital, Jakarta, as hundreds of protesters clashed with anti-riot police outside the National Parliament complex. Workers and students hurled objects and fired firecrackers at the Parliament complex, prompting police to respond with water cannons in an attempt to disperse the crowd. The confrontation erupted just hours after a peaceful rally by students and labor activists who had gathered to voice a range of social and economic demands. What began as a demonstration quickly escalated, with security forces moving in as protesters pushed towards the gates. Authorities have not confirmed any injuries or arrests, but the situation underscores growing frustrations among youth and workers in the country.
Untuk saat ini masih banyak perusahaan-perusahaan yang melakukan union busting kepada para pekerja atau kepada para buruh, di mana masih banyak perusahaan-perusahaan yang kontra dengan adanya serikat pekerja, terutama di bidang-bidang tekstil, di bidang-bidang otomotif juga masih banyak terjadi union busting. Cuman saya menyuarakan kepada teman-teman yang masih banyak yang tidak mendapatkan perlindungan, terutama dari tempat kerjanya.
Terlalu banyak yang pengurangan karyawan. Kita mengharapkan semoga kedepannya lebih baik,
lebih banyak peluang pekerjaan
buat kita. Penyesuaian gaji, terus hak cuti
kehamilan,
cuti melahirkan.
We now go on a short break, and when we come back, amid group chat leak, U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz to resign. Details on this and more after the break. Stay with us. Now, still in the Middle East, some Gazans on Thursday mourned over the bodies of their loved ones at Nasser Hospital following an airstrike on the Abu Salul family home in Khan Yunis refugee camp in southern Gaza. Israel resumed its genocidal war in the Gaza Strip on March 18 after it broke a ceasefire agreement with the Palestinian resistant group Hamas. Civil defense official Mohammed al-Mughayir reveals that 8 people had been killed in the airstrike on the Abu Salul family, adding that 4 people were also killed in an airstrike east of Sha'af in Gaza City's Al-Tufa neighborhood. Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar on Thursday called on the international community to protect Syria's Druze population following 2 days of deadly sectarian clashes near Damascus. According to a statement from his office, Sa'ar made the call at an event marking Israel's Independence Day. This comes after Israel said that it carried out a strike in Syria on an armed group preparing to attack members of the Druze minority group. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a UK-based monitoring group, reported that 6 Druze gunmen had also been killed during the fighting in the area.
Jewish people know what it is to be a minority. The Middle East is a tough region for minorities. I call on the international community to fulfill its role in protecting the minorities in Syria, especially the Druze, from the regime and its gangs of terror, and not to turn a blind eye to the tough events taking place there over the recent months.
Let's also tell you that Israeli firefighting teams have been battling wildfires near Jerusalem for a second consecutive day, with authorities now reopening several major roads previously closed due to the flames. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed that 18 people have been detained on suspicion of arson. More than 150 firefighter teams and 12 aircraft remain on the ground working to control the fires, which broke out Wednesday along the main Jerusalem-Tel Aviv highway. Meanwhile, thousands of residents were evacuated, and rescue services say 23 people were treated mostly for smoke inhalation and burns. 17 firefighters have also been injured. Police say all major routes, including the Jerusalem-Tel Aviv corridor, are now open to traffic.
האקלים, כל משבר האקלים בעצם שקיים בעולם משפיע מאוד מאוד מאוד על התפשטות שרפות, מאוד. הוא מייבש את הצמחים, הוא מייבש את כל חומר הבעירה שקיים לנו, ופשוט עם הרוח החזקה מספיק ניצוץ קטן והכל מתפשט. האמת, אני 24 שנים במערך, הייתי בהמון שרפות, אין ספק שזו אחת השרפות הקשות ביותר שראיתי, עם קצב התפשטות מטורף.
Donc ce qui s'est passé, c'est que la météo était vraiment mauvaise, donc il faisait extrêmement chaud avec beaucoup de vent, ce qui fait que le feu s'est répandu très très vite et il a enjambé la vallée et il a gagné toute la région et donc jusque très très proche du monastère. Donc vous voyez là on est à 10 mètres de la cave, on est à 50 mètres du monastère et tout a brûlé. Donc en fait hier il y avait 31 unités de pompiers sur place à la Troune qui ont travaillé jusqu'à la nuit. Et donc s'ils n'avaient pas été là, sans doute tout le monastère...
In Europe, Britain is set to mark 80 years since the end of World War II. In Europe, with a 4-day celebration filled with tributes, pageantry, and remembrance. The commemorations among the last two include a significant number of veterans. Will begin with a military procession to Buckingham Palace, followed by a dramatic flypast of modern and historic aircraft, including the iconic Red Arrows. According to British Defence Secretary John Hawley, in a statement 80 years ago, the freedoms they enjoy today were defended by the remarkable Second World War generation. Union flags will adorn London's cenotaph, and street parties are planned, one aboard HMS Belfast and the famed World War II warship. Now, events will continue through May 8, culminating in a remembrance service at Westminster Abbey and a concert at Horse Guards Parade. A separate VJ Day service is scheduled for August 15 at the National Memorial Arboretum.
For me, it's important to remember some of the poor devils who didn't make it like I did. Because there were 2 or 3 of friends of mine that didn't make it. And when I look back, when we were children together, this and the other, and I'm still going strong, and they've been gone years and years now, and I don't know how much longer I've got to get. What I'd like to say is to children to grow up together, grow up to be friendly with everybody, recognise each other's countries, and come together amicably with other countries. Not fight against them and try and get this and try and get that. Try and all work together.
So the crew are always really excited to fly. It's such an honour to be able to fly over London, over Buckingham Palace, and share some of what we do with the British public and the world, in fact, because I'm sure the world will be watching. The crew are always incredibly excited. It's brilliant training for them for other facets that we have to do, and it generally is just a great day for the crews.
Let's go on a break now. When we return, we have more Beyond the Continent. Now in North America, U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is stepping down from his role in the Trump administration, according to media reports. Now, Waltz's departure follows a turbulent tenure marked by controversies over the use of insecure communications for sensitive government business. Last month, he took responsibility for a Signal group chat in which senior officials reportedly discussed military strikes in Yemen, while a journalist was mistakenly included. In a broader shakeup of the national security team, Waltz's deputy, Alex Nelson Wong, has also been removed from his position. The incident has raised fresh concerns over operational security at the highest levels of government as the Trump administration continues to face scrutiny over internal communication protocols. Meanwhile, in Central America, Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega has accused U.S. President Donald Trump of committing horrendous crimes against migrants. Now, speaking at a Labor Day event in Managua's Central Plaza, Ortega condemned Trump for separating families, deporting migrants, and sending thousands of Venezuelans to El Salvador's notorious mega prison. According to Ortega, these are horrendous crimes at a Labor Day event in the Central Plaza of Managua.
¿Qué espera el presidente Trump para mandarle a la niña a esa madre? Porque es un crimen horrendo, es un crimen de lesa humanidad. Igualmente todos los prisioneros que están por todos lados, sin ley alguna, pasando en contra de las decisiones de los poderes judiciales de los Estados Unidos. Es decir, está actuando como que en Estados Unidos, con su llegada al gobierno, desaparecieron todos los poderes y el poder es él. Y él decide qué se hace y qué no se hace. A Nicaragua la tienen en la mira, como tienen en la mira a Venezuela y tienen en la mira a Cuba. Pero ya debe tener claro el canciller de los Estados Unidos que Cuba, Venezuela y Nicaragua somos tres naciones, tres pueblos, que ni nos vendemos ni nos rendimos jamás.
In Oceania, New Zealand's capital, Wellington experienced its strongest winds in over a decade on Thursday, with gusts reaching about 160 kilometers per hour. Now, the government issued a red wind warning for the city, where average wind speed were reported at 87 kilometers per hour. Meanwhile, a state of emergency was declared in parts of the South Island after 24 hours of heavy rainfall. Emergency management officials warned residents to stay indoors and secure outdoor items like furniture and trampolines. Some roads were closed, and coastal areas faced waves overtopping roads, leaving debris behind. Due to flooding concerns, residents of one coastal suburb were advised to seek alternative accommodations. South Korea's acting president Han Duck-soo has announced his resignation from both his roles as acting president and prime minister, signaling a likely run for the presidency. In a farewell address, Han said two paths lay before him. One is to carry on in his current role. The other is to step down and take on a greater responsibility. The 75-year-old veteran politician is widely expected to formally declare his candidacy for the June 3rd election this Friday. His resignation marks a significant shift in South Korea's political landscape as the race to replace President Yoon Suk-yeol heats up.
저는 오늘 제가 깊이 고민해온 문제에 대하여 최종적으로 내린 결정을 말씀드리고자 이 자리에 섰습니다. 저는 이제 대통령 권한대행 국무총리의 직을 내려놓습니다. 제 앞에는 두 갈래 길이 놓여 있습니다. 하나는 당장 제가 맡고 있는 중책을 완수하는 길, 다른 하나는 그 중책을 내려놓고 더 큰 책임을 지는 길입니다. 저는 우리가 직면한 위기를 극복하기 위해 제가 할 수 있는 일, 제가 해야 하는 일을 하고자 저의 직을 내려놓기로 최종 결정하였습니다.
Tensions are escalating between India and Pakistan following a deadly attack in Kashmir, prompting urgent international calls for calm. For News Central, international correspondent Afia Hagen has the latest development from this volatile region.
The United States has urgently called on India and Pakistan to de-escalate after violence intensified following an attack in Indian-administered Kashmir that killed 26 people on April 22nd. India blames Pakistan for orchestrating the attack, prompting Prime Minister Narendra Modi to grant complete operational freedom to Indian military forces. Pakistan firmly denies involvement, claiming it has credible evidence that India is planning a retaliatory military strike. Islamabad warns that any aggression from India would provoke a decisive response. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio personally contacted top officials from both countries, urging cooperation from Pakistan in investigating the attack and appealing to India to engage in dialogue to maintain peace and stability in South Asia. Meanwhile, on the ground, gunfire exchanges have continued for a seventh consecutive night along the heavily protected line of control. Residents in border regions living in constant fear are preparing bunkers and receiving emergency training amid growing uncertainty. Indian authorities have issued wanted notices for 3 men linked to the Pakistan militant group Lashkar-e-Taiba, offering significant rewards for information. Diplomatic relations have further deteriorated, with airspace closures and expulsions intensifying tensions. The disputed Kashmir region has long been a flashpoint, with both nuclear-armed nations having fought several wars since 1947. With civilians once again caught in the crossfire, the international community anxiously watches as India and Pakistan navigate one of the most serious confrontations in years. For News Central, I'm Athea Hagan.
And that's all on Beyond the Continent. Now, to remember that you may send your eyewitness reports to the WhatsApp number being displayed on your screens now. And follow us on social media. We're at News Central TV. You may also watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Evo TV, and of course on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. My name is Mazzino Appeal.